Okay.
All right, Smarkamania pre-show. We're waiting for Julia to get her notes because she's the only one who got notes. Brody, how'd you feel about this show? Superkick'd.
What an amazing show. I brought my friend who doesn't really like wrestling, and he had such a barrel of monkeys. It was really great.
Yeah, what do you feel the percentage chances he'll come to another one?
Well, he loves the space monkey.
Yeah.
To be honest, he really liked the space monkey.
Man, though, that guy, the luchador, I wish I knew more people's names. He was even better than the space monkey. He was amazing.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I wasn't sure if he was, what's his face from WWE? Sin Cara. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know if that's Sin Cara or not. I didn't know.
Now, you know what a real downer, though, is that there was no Brody Keith 2.
I think that was what was on everyone's mind. What the people paid their hard-earned money for, and I really wish that was the main event of the evening.
Yeah, we really were kind of like, that's the thing. It's like a life lesson tonight. Hesitation equals, no, what's that saying? It's like...
he who hesitates is lost.
That is us saying. I was thinking, though, of... shit. I can't think of it. But anyway, we were sitting there, like, hemming and hawing, and then they started taking down the apron and everything, and we're like,
it's just like the Yoner was right there. I didn't want to jump in, get him to yell at me. I think the problem was I wasn't drunk enough.
Yeah.
The mistake is he who is not drunk enough will not succeed his goals.
Yeah, and I actually tried to be less drunk because last time I was too drunk, and yeah, it fucked me.
You were very drunk last time.
So that's the mistake I made this time.
Yeah.
It's a terrible mistake.
What, not drunk enough?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, you can't be not drunk enough at a wrestling show. It just won't work.
We're just discussing the Phantom match, Keith Brody 2, and how great it would have been.
Yeah.
What would your...
Had everybody not interrupted and dance partied around you guys?
Yeah, that was
amazing.
That's the thing is,
that's probably the problem.
Yeah, like if we had been downstairs, then we could have hopped in the ring for sure, because it ended, spoiler alert, with a giant dance party where everyone ran and rushed the ring. But we were upstairs and we couldn't do it.
But there were details that we're not going to spoil about that.
I was so tempted because everyone was in the ring dancing. As like, if I get up on this balcony railing right now, I bet people would raise their hands so I could stage dive, and it would have been great.
I know, there's so many times where I'm like, if I just like hop over, I can dive on them.
If only
But I felt like I was a part of it. I felt like I didn't even feel a need to move because I was involved, but on top. So I had like the best seat in the house.
It was pretty amazing. I mean, for the civilian report, Joel brought like 5 of his friends. It was amazing. And I'm like, for like people that are just randos, that are just, hey, let's go to wrestling, whatever. There's the greatest ending in the world when the whole ring's full of people dancing to a Madonna song. I mean, we'll get to why at the end. That's the end of the podcast. That's the hook. You got to listen to the whole podcast now.
I don't know. I think you had to be there.
I mean, that would have helped for sure. All right, so what are we doing? We going and cozying up?
We're going to get cozy and we're going to get started.
Right.
Yeah, I do. I got all my notes.
I just followed RJ City on Twitter.
Oh, good. I'm so excited. I should get a Twitter account.
I want to follow All Black everything.
Hello, and welcome to Smarkamania. And for this time around, we actually are doing something a little different, and it is actually our third time going to see Superkick'd. Now, of course, if you're a long-time listener or new-time fan, you would know that the first one was actually Fight Brand. The second one was Superkick'd Tabula Rasa. And this, from what I can tell, was just called Superkick'd Live and Loud.
Wait, I might have the thing in my pocket for this show. Let me see. What do we got here? Grado.
It's Grado.
Grado does Canada.
It's Superkick'd Grado does Canada.
Grado
Right.
does Canada, right. Okay.
So hold up. So we have Julia back on as the designated Jason for all intents and purposes. What does that mean?
What are you going to do?
Well, let me tell you something about taking notes. Look, I went there to enjoy the show, but because Julia has so much enthusiasm and also experience with watching these shows, she actually did what I do best, and that's take hundreds of pages of notes. So she's going to be our liaison. She's going to be our scout, helping us get through the many matches that happened tonight. Take it away.
Yeah, so Julia will she'll lead us. We'll comment as we go. We of course have special guests.
You're forgetting somebody.
We have special guests, a couple of dogs, a house party in the background, Keith and Brad, and of course, fan favorite and much requested second time appearance, Brody.
Well, thank you for the humble beginning. I believe it's the main event that didn't happen tonight. I get that. I understand that. I just want to say it's a great show. Things I talk about may not express that feeling, but I think overall was a very great show. So I'm very excited for this podcast.
I like to because like the last show, so me and Brody jumped in the ring real quick and had our epic fucking 10-second match. But I like how it's starting to build where we're like, they do like referee training and stuff. Like, we're stroking our beards. We're thinking about it.
If we hop in and no one knows, do you have a match? That's the question.
And on to what actually happened tonight.
So to kick it off, I got there early this time because last time I missed the Space Monkey opener. But I feel like I was a little too early because that opening metal band is so loud. It's like,
Not that it wasn't good. They always start with a metal band, so we're not talking about the quality of their songs. Actually, for their fourth song, they even did I forget what it's called. I don't know what the song is called, but it wasn't
Music
there.
podcast. Get to the wrestling.
they ended with song 2 by Blur. That was cool.
That's what I meant.
The part that I liked was when Alexis on Fire got back together.
Oh my god.
What was that band's name? 8 Inches of Blood and
Oh
Semen?
god, this is so much pressure. Moving on.
Alexis on fire.
What? All right, well, we'll save that for the Juggalo report.
Here's my impression of Alexis on fire.
And that was 7:30 to 8 p.m.
And it's also my impression of Billy Talent.
Man, I saw Billy Talent once at Warped Tour, and it's so funny because he talks like that. He's like,
this wasn't a music.
but he's like, this next song is about my ex-girlfriend.
Honestly, though, I saw them twice on purpose.
Yeah, like I was excited to see him too. I saw him in North Bay, and I went and they were like you can meet the band, right? Because they're not that big at that point. I was like, hey guys, good job what you're doing. They're just like, yeah, we know.
I saw Alexis on Fire in Fredericton once when they were like, their first album had just come out. It was sweet.
So relating that to tonight, where Keith was going with that was that they had a party. Oh my god, the dog!
Here comes Joel. Here comes Joel.
Joel Does Canada. That's the name of the show.
Superkick'd ever.
Joel, if I could, I would like to give you an official thanks for bringing so many people. If this was like 4-H Club, you would definitely get some seed packets or whatever.
I know, which is
or a badge.
You know what? I kind of figured this out. Is like if we can just maintain this level of people at all times, because half our crew dropped out, but we filled in the exact same amount of people. It was perfect.
Yeah, I feel like we just got to build a big enough cloud. A cloud of wrestling people.
So people will drop in and drop out, but this is pretty good.
Yeah.
But oh my god, this was my favorite Superkick, guys.
Okay, so feel free to come in at any point and put your 2 cents in, but let's get on track.
Okay, where are we?
We are talking.
We haven't even started.
We're talking about the pre-show party, and so from 7:30 to 8, they had a live band. They played 4 songs in their set, and Keith was absolutely right.
It was so loud.
It was loud. You couldn't even think.
Sorry, how was the party? Because so many people were trying to hang out with me beforehand. I couldn't make it.
So the first pre-show match was between John Atlas. It was Playboy John Atlas.
Ooh la la.
Oh yeah, exactly. Against Cobra Time is what I got from what happened. But this dude was really cool. He came out in an 80s dance video outfit. He reminded me of Olivia Newton-John in that sexercise video or whatever.
Physical.
Yeah, that one. And of course, Atlas was the heel, and he was like, "Look at me, I'm so sexy. My muscles are beautiful." And to his credit, they were pretty beautiful. So I bought it.
This has got a good butt, right?
Yes.
I bought it too.
That guy had a good butt. Yeah.
But we'll get to the butt. So, they both come out, and this was actually a very athletic match for a pre-show event. The 80s dance guy, that's what I'm going to call him, because I don't know if his name is actually Cobra Time or if I'm getting that wrong.
He got over quick with doing squats. The crowd was just like, do more squats.
And he came out with the protein shake. shakes and they were buying it.
How many squats did he? Oh, he's the protein powder guy.
Yeah.
Was Taylor Hendricks there for that?
No, she didn't make it this time.
Wasn't she advertised?
Oh.
It was a different guy. So what he's referring to is last month there was another protein guy who was actually the heel and he was a douchebag. But this guy is different. He was actually a face and he was very cute and fun and he did some like cute little exercises and he got the crowd going with how many squats can I do before the match starts? So that was his niche.
Was the answer 5?
He did some. He did enough that the crowd wanted more, so not
Yeah.
enough, I guess.
I hate that I missed that. I was stuck in a cab.
You would have hated it
I
because
was playing video games at home, and I was like, yeah, I'll get there just in time for the first match.
Man, that's what I said to Julie. I was like, I bet Jason's playing video games.
Yeah, and he just
Probably
lost
Final
track of
Fantasy
time.
14.
Yep.
I was also in a cab. I arrived at 7:45, so 15 minutes before it was scheduled to begin.
Right, that's the right time. That's the perfect time.
yeah.
But I just missed the squats, though.
No comment.
So once the squat starts, I guess the heel, John Atlas, was having no peace and just starts ripping into him, and the match begins.
Oh, by the way, if we get any names wrong, it is now these wrestlers, it is their duty to tweet us and let us know what the real name is.
Yes. So I do want to highlight some moves because this match, as a pre-opener, you expect it to be good, but this one I think was above.
Energy. You want energy. You want some hype, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but normally I understand pre-show matches to be somebody very junior, like they're introducing them. It's kind of a feel out, and that was not it at all. These wrestlers were definitely experienced. They had some good stuff, yeah. Very early on in the match, the guy from the 80s dance video actually kind of jumped, but he jumped on his hamstring on the bottom rope, then jumped up and like did this jaw buster to the Playboy, and I thought that was really creative. I thought that was really cool. But also Atlas, the Playboy, John Atlas, got him down at one point and started like shaking his junk over the face of this dance video guy. Yeah, and then like he pulled down his trunk. So the 80s dance video guy, excuse me, this dog is licking my back. Oh, good. No, it's...
Brad! Good lord.
So the dance video guy...
Nice move.
The dance video guy like actually pulled down the back of the trunks of John Atlas and his butt was exposed for a good portion of the match. Actually, he didn't even try and bring them up.
That cracked me up so much because, I thought it would be a quick spot of like, oh, his trunks got pulled down and you can see his butt, but he would not pull them back up for like 5 minutes.
What I love, because I missed that one match, right? So I get my ticket, I'm like, yo, what did I miss? They're like, oh, you missed the guy's butt. And I was like, dang it.
First thing I saw was that Butt Guy had a pretty good drop kick.
Yes, he did.
Finally, some fucking wrestling talk on this podcast.
So if we talk more about the storyline.
So actually, I'm gonna contribute more to the storyline.
Yeah, because his butt just made another target. His butt got slapped so many times.
Yeah.
His butt got so much heat. That was the weird part.
You got that butt heat. Yeah.
So actually, there was a fun fan moment too when the 80s dance video guy dove into the crowd, which there was lots of tonight, but particularly started early. What happened was a fan, I guess, was not too impressed with the Playboy and yells at the ref, "Aren't you supposed to be counting? Do your job!" When it wasn't Superkick'd, when it was Fight Brand, we had mentioned something about the ref not really paying attention to tag-ins or the rules in general. So that kind of brought me back.
For all intents and purposes, the referees at Superkick'd are pretty bad. And if this gets back to any of the refs, you're doing your job. If you're being a bad ref in an indie sort of fed, you're doing a great job. It looked great. But god damn it, I get really frustrated with you people.
In your notes here, does it say John Atlas sexy? Is that what that says?
It says sexy man stripper because I didn't quite get that Playboy was his last name.
Wait, why do we have the same notes? Oh!
Yeah, I was just wondering if you wrote sexy or not sexy on everyone.
Also, stop taking notes you can jerk off to later.
Wait, that's just a sketch of me.
50 Shades of Wrestlers.
Stop making me out to be one-dimensional, okay? Not cool.
I have 2 dimensions.
So now we get on to the first kind of designated match. And this is between, I don't know, I've tried all match to pay attention to the name of this tag team, but I cannot figure this out. So I need
You
help.
kept asking me, like, what's that guy's name? Like, I don't know.
If anyone would know, it was me. And so I was trying to lean on other people and they weren't helping. So anyway, last month on our last podcast, we talked about how these 2 guys were definitely heels.
Keith and Brody?
Definitely.
The greatest match ever of all time. That one?
No, not that one. It was about these guys who like put their hands in the air like they were smoking weed. Yes, yeah. So I don't know their names, and this was.
I think they were just called Kush, but I thought their name should have been Pothole. That'd be way better.
I don't have.
Like I don't like about them is like their trunks don't match. Yeah.
Tag team, which was exactly my point last month, where I was like, they don't look like they're a tag team. They look like 2 guys who are matched up.
They needed the time. They got put together. They're making the best of it. I'll give them that.
You should have trunks made of weed, both of them.
Yeah, hemp trunks.
Or just, like the Adam leaf, except it's like a pot leaf.
I have no comment on that. But I will say that today they actually did act like a tag team. Even though they didn't look like a tag team, they actually were really good together.
And they were in peril. Last time I thought they were a little too dominant. Now, it was like, okay, they're having some competition.
It's like these potheads aren't going to win. Get out of here. Yeah, it makes more sense when they get beat
They're
up.
stoned. I get it. I know what's happening.
Well, one guy I liked because they came out and they're like pretending to smoke, and then the smoke from the stage.
Yes.
He tried to smoke that, and he's like, "Oh, too much, intense."
That was good.
On a side note, I thought last month I thought everyone tripped on the ramp. This time I thought they did a lot better than that.
Well, one guy definitely did. I don't remember who. It was someone, but only one.
Yeah.
So about this match, it was pretty stellar.
My question for them is, did you feel like they were a real tag team tonight? Because before I was like, they're not, but tonight, how do you guys feel?
Yeah, definitely tag team worthy. I just need them to come up with a name and say something before the match so that I know whether I should be cheering for you or not.
Although you were sliding toward the heel side a little tonight, but then you went back to face big time.
So we're going to explain that match by match, but definitely Jason is doing something to me because I was definitely feeling the heels today. But getting back to this match, the heel tag team, they did some really cool in the air neck breaker. So they got air. It was pretty impressive. That was pretty athletic.
And a man died.
Yeah. They did so many through the rope things into the front row seat that people actually got up and abandoned their seats in the front row.
Yeah, that's one thing that's so weird, right? Is those seats are like the $50 VIP seats, but fucking
Basically
wrestlers
getting jumped on.
Yeah.
Like you're paying $50 to get jumped on. Right?
Yeah, you just get giant, naked, sweaty men to fall on you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's fine, but you got to know that's what you're getting.
What a deal.
You get a shirt, I'm told.
And you get a shirt. Yeah.
So the next match is Jason's favorite, RJ City. He was facing Shane Saber. Now, I was particularly confused numerous times throughout this night, but this was...
I thought it was Sean Sabre.
Oh, God. No, it definitely was Shane. I don't...
Take your word for it.
Yeah, you idiot.
Normally, RJ City is a heel, but he's not a typical heel in the sense that he insults the audience, but he's a heel in the sense that he insults his opponents, and then the audience loves it. So that's kind of the grasp on it, and I fall into that too. But Shane Saber, whatever the fuck we're gonna call him, I couldn't tell whether he was a heel too or not. I didn't know.
Yeah, it was weird because RJ City came out to do his I'm a dickhead promo. And we're like, oh, awesome, he's gonna do one of his I'm a dickhead promos. And then Shane came out and interrupted him, and we're like, well, now I don't know what to think. You're being a bigger dick than the dick.
Yeah, so now it's heel against heel, so which heel am I cheering for? And it's always going to default to RJ City, but I was just like, a heel versus heel match, oh my god, my brain is already confused. So RJ City is about to introduce, he has this thing where he's like, oh, I'm Mr. Entertainment, RJ City, And like, I look forward to it. Jason actually looks forward to it, and that's one of the few things that we both agree on. So the fact that he got interrupted, we were both kind of like, oh, hell no. So the match gets started. I love RJ City, and I love these matches, but I find that they're often more showmen than athletic. Not to say they're not athletic, but they definitely play up the crowd a lot more. So this major moment was when RJ City pushed Saber out of the ring, and they go into the audience, and RJ City takes a sip of somebody else's drink and then spits it in the face of Saber, which I think is pretty funny.
Wait, why should she draw a bunch of boners on her notebook?
That is not actually happening.
You do have a lot of boners written down.
Those little hearts with Grado written in them. I don't know.
Yeah, Julia City, it says all over it. Little hearts and arrows.
No one's actually able to see my notes, so I'm actually pretty offended right now. Guys, where is Sleazy at? Because I need someone to kick these guys' asses.
Sleazy, yeah, I could please you.
We're having fun, but I treat her right.
I think the next one's the kind of the real main event.
Oh, man. This is, well, hold the phone, because before we actually get to the match itself, Atlas returns to the ring. And, well, I'm a fan of that because he won.
P.I.G. P.I.G.
P.I.G.
They're my favorites.
This is where Keith and Jason and I need a little break from each other. So what happens is, you know, John Atlas is cocky because he won the match and he's playboy and that's his niche. So he comes out and he's like, oh yeah, take pictures of me, I'm so sexy. And he is sexy. Not that I agree with his attitude, but fine.
It's true though, right? Like, yeah, he's like going on about like, no one could look like me, and I'm like, tell it like it is, brother. Like, fuck yeah.
Right, and I'm like, why do you have to be such a douche about it? But you're kind of hot, so whatever. But then he starts picking a fight with the audience member and telling him how, like, he can't even see his own dick, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not. So I'm a
The
little...
audience member in question, to be fair, did seem like he was okay with being told he was a fat asshole he couldn't see his own dick.
It's true. He was totally psyched about that. He was there at that last show as well, and he was just like, yeah, I have no fucking dick.
Yeah, I was fine about him talking about me. It was fine.
I love too, there was that one corner of the room where Jason called them the wrestling hipsters, but they were awesome because they're all like these kind of cool ass 21-year-old kids hanging out, but they were into it. Like, they were starting chants and they were so involved. Like, they ruled.
It was great. So at this point, you know, I'm happy that Atlas is out there. I'm rooting for him, but I'm kind of not okay with what he's saying about the audience members until these three pigs come out, and one of them is...
3 little pigs. Of course they needed 3. There was 2 last month, and now they have a big fat guy.
I get it.
I need 5.
I have till 5.
But like with these guys, I love them because like all they do is they come out and they just squash people. But their mask is so creepy, and the guy with the sleeveless shirt is jacked.
But they move creepy too. So it's not even like they walk out like, oh, I'm the authority figure and you're gonna listen to me. They come out basically on all fours. They're like slithering around. Like, you have a pig mask on, not a snake mask. Well, I'm confused.
I really like last month it was just the 2 of them, right? And it was really fun. The third guy, like, he's too fat. Like, we all know, like, okay, you're not really the wrestler one.
Yeah, if he was solo, it'd be weird. But that he's part of the PIG posse.
I think my question is, like, where's this going? Like,
Wait. But actually, immediately, he's also holding the big one, who's clearly not the wrestler. He's holding a Starbucks cup. The pigs come out into the ring and they start beating on Atlas. I don't really know why, because last time they...
Because he's a dick.
Yeah, but last time they beat up the good guy. Now they're just beating up anyone?
So what you're saying is they were beating off the dick?
You could say that, and I'm glad you did.
So my point here is that when they're done beating up on him, they put him in the corner and then they go and smack him into the big dude drinking a coffee. And he's basically acting like he's unconscious, so he had no control over it.
I believe it was a latte.
And plus, yeah, he was just willing, the big guy in the pig mask was willing to just come into the ring and have a coffee. He wasn't looking for trouble.
Right, he's just wearing a pig mask and helping beat him up. Absolutely no trouble at all. So what happens is when the 2 pigs force Atlas into this big guy. Obviously, he spills his coffee, and now he's pissed off that his coffee is spilled, and so they all just beat him up, and that's the end of that.
This pig gonna blow my house down.
Well, I don't have anything funny to say after that, but I just like I love the guy. They're just like where's it going? Is my question. It's like I love a good beatdown, but like, do you think like it's gonna lead to like a tag team feud? Do you think it's gonna lead to a main event feud? What do you guys think?
And I feel like they could be cool. Like if it was PIG and that was their names, like 1P, 1I, 1G is their first names, that would be cool.
If they don't wrestle for literally the next 6 months, and this is their gimmick for all of that, they can change up who the wrestlers are behind the masks, and it won't even fucking matter. But the fact that Superkick'd has this authoritarian figure, it's almost like when Eric Bischoff had 3-minute warning.
Yeah.
So I hope
3 minutes and we're out of here.
Yeah. I guess like who's pulling the strings?
Yeah, does anybody know who's sleeping with who? 1, 2, is this on?
Yeah, what if Ashley Six is running them behind the scenes the whole time?
Yo, hit me with a little of that Triple H.
Hit me with a little of that Ashley Six PIG.
I had a point. I think it would be a really good business if they just made the pig guys come out like what they did with Colby last month. You get on the mic and you start bitching. And maybe just add more pigs to it, to the point that we really get... Who was that guy in the 90s? Like something King? The guy that got beat down real bad.
Rodney King.
Rodney King. Like, why don't we get to like 7 guys are in this faction at this point? They've never wrestled matches with one another. It's like, you know, it's like Adam Rose's Rosebuds at this point, where it's just like a bunch of dudes. And then, you know, we get to 7 guys and they're coming out to beat down the guys. So All Black Everything has to really rise up and defy all the odds and have more...
Actually, All Black Everything.
Face turn for All Black Everything.
Yeah, B2 continued on All Black Everything, but I was actually not to stray from Jason. I think Jason's point is really good, but but I was also talking to Keith about a possibility of them beating up enough people that people get sick of it, and that ends up being a thing. So whatever that kind of turns into, there's a lot of freedom to lean whichever way they like to go.
It's so weird with wrestling too, where there's the two sides. You can either get over by being an awesome wrestler, or just by having a cool gimmick, you know. And like, I love these pigs. I love them. And
this is like the Wyatt family. If the Wyatt family all wore sheep masks, but the problem with the sheep mask is it implies you're a sheep. When you come out with the pig mask, it implies that you're a police officer.
Oh my God, if there are any police officers like listening to this, I'm sorry. I'm not about this.
That would totally be an anime sort of thing to do, where the cops wear pig masks.
let's take a quick break now because A, I need to pee, Jason needs to smoke, and I need to do an interview with at least Black Metal Jeff because he's a new guy and see what he thought.
Done.
All right.
To be continued.
Black Metal Jeff.
Little pig, let me in. Little pig, let me in. Well, I'm hopping and I'm popping and I'm...
All right, we're at intermission of our Smarkamania podcast.
Welcome to Jeremy and Angela's home.
Yeah, this is official after party of. It turns out this is called Grado Does Canada. We had to look it up. That was what tonight's show was called.
Grado.
Okay, so Edge, let me ask you. First time at wrestling, probably in your life.
First time.
What did you think?
It was fucking amazing. Amazing.
Right?
Like you watch that on TV and you're like, I don't care, whatever. But then you see it in real life and it's like, oh my God, this is amazing.
And I remember we're watching it. You kept like tapping me on the shoulder, going like, "This is so stupid." I'm like, "I know, right?"
Very stupid and amazing.
But like when the team did the suplex from the top rope out of the ring.
Don't spill it yet. We have to get there.
But I mean, yeah, but oh man, I mean, as like anyone who's not in
As
yet,
one who does not know what a suplex is, I was still impressed.
Oh, I was very proud of myself. I saw a move and I'm like, "That's a backbreaker." I was very happy about.
I'm a UFC fan, frankly, and I like watching the ladies do the UFC.
right?
So this is not a far reach for me.
Wasn't that cool too? Intergender fucking main event.
Intergender, it's all very like fourth wave feminists.
That girl Sleazia in the main event last month, I didn't tell many people that I thought they were awesome, but I told her.
Yeah, she was amazing. I mean, like, bringing it home for the girls.
Yeah, but then it ended with a ring full of people dancing to Madonna.
I was one of them.
Well,
it was
life
amazing.
is a mystery.
You were in the
Everyone
ring.
must stand alone.
So it was.
Hear you call my name.
So of our little group, it was Angela, Jeremy, Jason, and myself were dancing, and it was surprisingly
And it felt
springy.
like home.
It did feel like home.
It felt like home.
Me and Brody were so jealous because last month we managed to jump in the ring for a few minutes and do some stuff, or 10 seconds. I don't know how long we were there. And this, we didn't get to do it this month. We're like, if we had been downstairs, we would have been in that schmaz. What I wanted to do from the balcony, if I had gotten up on the railing and just been like, catch me, I could have crowd surf jumped in. It would have been great.
Probably could have next time.
But I didn't have the balls. I didn't do it.
Oh man, you should have. Brody would have caught you.
It's because last month I was so drunk I was in the 10th dimension. So this month I was like, let's not do that.
Whiskey.
But then, yeah, I would have.
Whiskey.
That's the problem. I would have done it. So, Black Metal Jeff, how did you? I know you were a wrestling guy because I remember we had an extra ticket last month, and Joel was like, I should ask Jeff, and then you couldn't make it, but you came this month. How'd you feel?
It was good.
It was pretty good, right?
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was a good show. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah. Grado. I don't know if there's much to say about Grado.
Yeah, I mean that's when you know you're super hardcore. Is because I didn't know Grado.
You didn't know Grado?
No, I consider myself pretty into wrestling, but I didn't know Grado. Now I do though.
Now you know Grado. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm there. Like that's to see that little guy do his little fucking shtick is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like there were moments where like he's asking the ref to help him up on like to do whatever he was gonna do, but then chickened out. Like
See, Grado doesn't actually like he's not even actually a wrestler. Like he exists in a non-wrestling world. Like he has no moves. He doesn't even have a finishing move. He doesn't really win ever. But it doesn't matter. He just performs. He's comedic. He's fun to watch.
the proposal to Silesia was like out of a fucking belly pouch. Jesus Christ.
His proposal.
Sorry, guys. We're talking about the proposal. I thought Ryan Reynolds was amazing in that movie.
That is
Bullock
true.
too? Do you see her body for that age? Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, she still got it. Like, the way that they came together in the end, I just couldn't believe. Like, that's what love is about, folks. Okay? That's what love is about.
But I knew with Grado, right? Because this guy Julian, he couldn't make it this month, but he was like, I can't believe I'm busy that day because fucking Grado's going to be there. And I was like, who the fuck is Grado? So I looked up a documentary about him, and I was like, I still don't get it. Now I get it.
Now you get it. Yeah. He said like one documentary about him, and
Yeah, it was like Vice did a thing about him. It was like 40 minutes, and I watched the whole 40 minutes, and I'm like, who is this fucking guy?
it doesn't really make any sense. No, the documentary actually is ridiculously terrible for not explaining what the fuck am I watching? Like a shitty wrestler?
Yeah, he's all just like, I knew I can never be The Rock. There's no reason I should ever be a wrestler. And I was like, no, clearly.
Clearly, you don't win. You don't look good. You're not very good.
But it was weird though. That was the moment I liked. He's like, yeah, I'd watch wrestling in like 1999, and I loved The Rock. I wanted to be The Rock.
You guys are being very mean right now.
But he won me over. Now I love it.
But see, that's exactly it. That's what wrestling is great about.
I love too with the Superkick thing. Last month it was Paul London, and both times it's the "Please come back" chant. We're just like, come on, please come back to Toronto. We need people to come back to Toronto.
And he's not coming back.
Can we talk about honestly, Jeff and I and Angela fell in love tonight with what's her name? No, not her name. She's like this.
Bernadette.
Is that her name?
Yeah, Bernadette.
The chick from the crowd won't shut up.
She's like. Okay.
I think probably the star of all of it. Like I will watch her over wrestling.
Wait, you're telling me she's not a wrestler?
She should be like a manager, right?
So there's a bunch of seats in the front for those of you who won't go. That cost $50, and we're like, who would pay for $50 seats? and we found out who would pay for $50 seats, is this 4-foot-tall woman who...
Don't be mean.
I'm not being mean.
It's a fact.
Yeah, she's literally... But she is honestly improving my wrestling experience, so I'm not going to be mean at all.
No, wrestling fans are why you go to wrestling shows. If there wasn't wrestling fans, wrestling shows would be fucking horrible. Can you imagine sitting there actually just watching it and not doing anything? Like going to like some sort of fucking indie rock show and everyone just like kind of nodding their head.
Yeah, it was
that's kind of cool.
It sucked.
That's kind of cool. No, that fucking.
I thought she was a bouncer.
No, but she was
She was involved somehow. Like,
Oh, she was, but
She's
not in an official.
You're telling me she's not the general manager?
no. She's
the general manager of all of us.
no. She was a fan.
We're spending 5 minutes talking about her rather than the show.
No, she is more important than the goddamn show.
Somewhere she's shivering.
You know who wasn't there? There was a guy last month who was dressed just like David Lee Roth in like a zebra print outfit.
That was 90 Shawn Michaels, and that would be damned if you talk shit about him.
The bear couple wasn't there this time.
Oh no, maybe their bears are sick. They're bear babies.
No, I was like, I hope 90 Shawn Michaels is here, or he's wearing 90s Diesel. Friends of the podcast we all love, so please support, like us on Twitter. Question, do we have Twitter? Do we have Twitter?
Yes, we have Twitter.
Then start liking it.
All right, while we're getting, let me slip over here. While we're getting first-time Superkick interviews, how'd you feel about the show?
I thought it was an amazing show. I'm super looking forward to the all black everything versus fraternity angle that has to happen. I really feel like
Well, that wasn't. There was no connection between the fraternity or all black everything.
That's why.
What the hell were you watching?
but it's a you have these two beautiful sets of toys in your box. How can you not make those action figures fight?
Well, I'm hopping and I'm pumping and I'll blow your house in. Hopping and I'm pumping and I'll blow your house in. Hopping and I'm pumping and I'll blow your house in. Hopping and I'm pumping and I'll blow your house in.
What are you doing?
The best in the world.
Okay.
All right, so we got to wrap up this episode because now it's hours later and we're at a bar, and I just think we're not going to be able to give the final matches their proper due. We just don't
So
have
what
time.
ended up happening is we saw that final 6-man match. The guy with the crazy mask, he was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
He did a spot that was literally jump up to the top rope, set the guy up, jump over, do like some sort of DDT maneuver. Julia, however, knows what happened.
Oh, well, the thing that I super remember was like 4 guys were brawling outside, and then there was like a second rope fucking like suplex outside of the ring.
It was a
Oh,
third
a third rope.
It was a third rope.
Onto the 4 guys already out there. It was
Yes.
bananas. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was crazy.
That was.
I tried to scare the hiccups out of you.
I know, and I'm not even drunk, so I don't know why the hiccups are coming.
Oh,
but
it's weird, right?
it's very weird.
That's all we got. One scare each.
that was the highlight move, but they had so many golden moments, and I said this a little bit earlier in the podcast, but I'm just gonna reiterate it quickly. There wasn't a moment wasted by anyone. Anytime there was a focus on someone, they had a move, or they had a trick, or they had something to be able to be like, oh damn, that was good. So unlike every other
Okay, I'm done.
unlike every other
Scaring Julia podcast.
unlike every other 6-man that I've been disappointed with, this one actually highlighted every single person, and everybody had a moment.
No. But what match were we at when we finished? I don't have any change.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Sorry.
We're recording a podcast right now.
I bet he doesn't hear that every day.
The ultimate dick move. So let's
We,
get
we
to
finished
that.
off.
We're at the main event at this point.
No, we're right
Second
before it.
to main event.
Yeah, so it's right when it's the match where All Black Everything had invited that guy whom I thought was Porter to join them, and he didn't. So that match, but when Ashley 6 came out. So after the disqualification.
So let me reiterate what happens. They basically have a back and forth match with Anasis and
Brent Banks.
no, it's Anas. This is the match we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
It was Onassis and that other guy. Anyway, Brett Banks. All Black Everything's out there doing their thing.
Yeah.
The homicidal
non-black girl, Barbie, keeps interrupting.
the homicidal Miss Kitty is what I was trying to say. At any rate, they end up in a schmoz because obviously you keep interrupting the match if you have your whole crew with you.
Right.
So what ends up happening is
Disqualification.
Yep.
They beat him up.
Yep.
And then Ashley Six is hell no, because that's what happened to him the previous month.
Yeah, no, that is exactly when they try to slam him through a fucking table so hard for so long. But I called it, like I saw it telegraphed from a mile away. It basically came down to the faces versus heels. So what ends up happening?
The heels weren't good this time. It pisses me off because
No, the heels are always good.
no,
brother.
they were not good. I'm sorry, but Brent Banks was not at his best. And you know I don't cheer for heels, but I've always cheered for Brent Banks because he's so incredibly talented.
Can I ask you a question,
Like, yeah.
Julia?
Yeah.
What happened tonight? How many
Nothing,
heels
that's the point.
did you cheer for?
I cheer for 3.
Yeah.
I cheer for 3 heels.
Boom! SOS! Yep, no!
But Alex Vega, who isn't going by Alex Vega anymore, I'm very confused by this, is
Okay.
Terrence. Didn't fight, and I wasn't really impressed. Like, he was kind of extra. So, didn't cheer for him, and he's one of the heels I cheer for. Brent Banks, who is monster talented, monster amazing, meh, just average today, didn't cheer for him. So when I'm usually cheering for all faces and I cheer for 3 heels and none of them are the heels I've been promoting, come on.
And you're still booing the fraternity, and I like that about you. And I assume those are 2 of the people that you booed for, but they may or may not have been. So we get to this, and I was saying, you know what? Amasis is trying to do his thing. Ashley Six comes out and he says, "This is all bullshit," and he makes
a
tag team match.
Yeah.
So they have
Which means there's no title.
No, it's true.
There's no title match, which is what we were banking on.
It was also a non-title match to begin with because the announcer said this is a non-title match.
Yes.
But what ends up happening is they end up in a tag team situation, and that's a real back and forth. I was expecting it to be like a tag team match that's sort of like we started and it's going to be ended real soon. But, according to the card, was sort of this match.
It was a back and forth, but I mean, Ashley Six had the most golden moments, right? And so did the, I call him Porter, you call him Masters, whatever the fuck his name is. He had some pretty good moments.
Lucha!
Right. But I mean, Brent Banks, meh. Alex Vega, who's not Alex Vega anymore. Somebody please clear that up for me.
Look,
meh.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. For the sake of us getting through this,
It's true. But I just
Brett Banks fucking pins and wins, right?
Yes, but that's because the girl kind of interrupted the ref and got a chirp shot, and then Brent Banks did the surprise pin.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Because that's what a good heel manager does.
Yes.
But we saw the situation where Alex Six stands up going, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah.
Anyway,
Not again.
That's the end of that match.
Again?
Hold on. The following contest is scheduled for the main event. Introducing first,
Silesia Sparks.
Silesia Sparks and his opponent coming from Scotland.
Her opponent.
Yeah. Right, Grado for anyone who didn't understand that.
As soon as Like a Prayer hit, I was in.
Which was his opening song.
Yeah.
The thing about Grado is he's fucking a I don't know how he got to the point that he got to. I don't know how he was such an underdog. I think it totally has to do with the fact that he was applying to be a TNA wrestler in the a British boot camp situation. It's literally like Tough Enough. And I think that's what they're going for in that sort of situation. So Grado is this weird anomaly where he basically has not left Europe.
And he might be a good wrestler. I don't even know. All I know, he's like a great entertainer.
Last night, I watched him wrestle a match against Al Snow. And I don't know if you guys have seen Al Snow recently, but he is a jacked up Roy Magoo.
Wow, that's so weird.
Like, picture your imagination and picture what Al Snow used to look like. But picture that, like, if Al Snow was roided up. And that's what it looked like. And he fought Grado. And Grado finished that match and won with a big boot. One of his finishers is also the get your opponent in the corner, like what Rikishi would have done back in the day, who is a Hall of Famer now, apparently, according to WrestleMania this year. But Grado runs in the corner and does like a flip, like a roll into the corner, and that's his like signature move.
Right.
Grado's move is actually a super kick. So anyway, at the end of the day, Sleazia fucking they have a twerk off.
Okay, yeah. So this whole thing started because Grado wanted to try and trick Sleazia, so he proposed and she said no, and then they kind of got at it, and then she tried to retract and be like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad, I really mean yes, so that she could like sneak a pin in there, but that didn't work. The whole thing, again, like, kind of
Grado
summarizing.
tried to do the same thing right back to her.
Absolutely.
After his proposal was negated,
With a pin.
she tried to do the same thing right back to him.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny too because we were up on the balcony, so we got a lot of various like crotch views of Sleazia. But Julia was like, "Oh, that's unfortunate for us," but none of the dudes thought it was unfortunate.
Sleazia's ass was a banging tonight.
Well, she is slamming. She's got some muscles where she needs to. Her arms are jacked. Her back is sculpted, but she's got curves in the right places. Like, she is a smoke box.
100%.
Yeah. And like, I think from Sleazia's point of view, she had a lot of great moments. So we talk a lot about women not getting really their showcase here.
Well, even compared to the original Fight Brand episode that we recorded, so tonight we were supposed to see Taylor Hendricks versus that girl, the other female from the original Fight Brand show that we saw.
Yeah, it's a shame that didn't happen, right? That would have been cool.
No, that would have been amazing because Taylor Hendricks is also a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
But I guess that was thrown out because of the weather or whatnot, because, Canada and the northern United States are just covered in fucking horrible snow right now.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is we still get this phenomenal, like, main event. And I didn't feel, that's what I was trying to say to you earlier. I felt like the reason why Ashley Six came out and said, no, this is going to be a tag team match, and we had so much booking going on in that match, was because that was our true main event. And we got to see what comedy wrestling looks like in the indies.
From my point of view, Sleazia had tons of great moments. She was picking him up, she was moving him around. That's great, but for him, he didn't have those moments.
No, that's true.
And she's been one of the best female wrestlers I've seen across 3 shows.
I would love
Ring
to see.
of Honor.
You know that famous like Kevin Steen video, like top 95 moves of Kevin Steen? I want to see top 95 moves of Grado.
I want to see top 95 moves of Sleazia.
I don't know if Grado's got 95.
They're all like weird dances and stuff. Like,
No, his story is crazy, man. He's literally just the kind of guy that was like, I want to be a wrestler, and then some news outlets, some wrestling pundit news outlets sort of took on his story, and that's why he got so famous so quick.
That's fine. Like, he could get famous, but like, I think the right person won.
Hey guys, nice work on that game you were playing. You guys ruled.
That was awesome.
You guys ruled. You really stepped in. We needed you.
That was super fun.
Amazing.
Nice. You're on our podcast now.
Have a great night.
Nighty
New
night.
World Order! At any rate,
So I just think the right person won. Yes, Grado is famous. Yes, he's had a great career, but he was a showman, and Sleazia was an athlete, and she won the match.
and Julia, I agree with you 100%. I think that the right person won indubitably because Grado came over here to put on a good show.
Yeah.
And the fact that Sleazia did literally a twerk spot that Grado like followed up with another twerk spot. I thought that was one of the most amazing wrestling promos, or it wasn't really a promo, but one of the most amazing wrestling spots that I've ever seen.
I love too that after the match, Grado was like, "All right, you beat me, and that's fair because you are a better wrestler than me. But who's a better dancer?"
Yeah. And enter the dance party. All the wrestlers came out. A bunch of them went in the ring. Some of them did synchronized dancing.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That broke kayfabe so hard, where all the faces stood on the apron, and they were like
synchronized dancing.
And I know that Ashley Six was afraid that the ring was gonna break because we were like, he was like, everybody come in here, and then immediately it was like, everybody get out of here, like the ring is gonna break. And here's something that I haven't told either of you that I want to say about standing in a ring that is basically a spring underneath. You know when you haven't skated in a bunch of years?
Yeah.
When I stepped down off the stage, I had this weird, like, I felt like I had been underwater for a while. Like my ankles and my knees like didn't work properly.
Or like when you're walking through snow or sand and then you get on solid land again.
Yeah. No, that was the craziest.
Yeah. So as they started just doing dances against each other, but then the locker room emptied out and everyone was watching, and then all the wrestlers got in, and then like we were up in the balcony, so we didn't get to be part of it. And we're like, oh, there's Jason in the ring. There's Joel in the ring.
That person and that person.
And that was amazing. So here's what's gonna happen now. We went to an event. It was called Superkick'd in Toronto, Ontario.
It's so solemn.
Yeah.
I have been a man who's been a part of that. But at the end of the day, this is sort of where we end this off. And I have to do this now because we have a solid 14 hours of recorded voice memo. My name is Jason Phillips, and I am a part of Smarkamania. You can find me in the club, but you can also find me at Spider Hero on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube /Spider Hero. And that's the end of my night as far as it goes.
Julia, where can you be found? Like at your work and stuff? Where's your house?
Okay, so I'm on Facebook, but please don't touch me there. I will get a Twitter account. I feel like it's time. So that will be coming soon.
City.
Yeah. Anyway,
RJ City fan for life.
Yep.
Among a few others. But yes, hopefully this is really gonna reach a couple of the wrestlers that we had talked to today. RJ City being one of them. I'm really excited for this.
He asked us to tweet it to him, right?
Yeah.
Good luck listening through this if you made it this far.
Yeah. And also, please don't, like, if I'm saying that you didn't like something or I didn't like something, don't take it personally because I love everyone always.
And I love all heels always. And RJ City is one of my favorite wrestlers. I just want to give a shout out to Kingdom James.
Yes, I really hope.
All black everything. All black everything.
Yes.
All black everything.
I really hope that he and the rest of All Black Everything listen to this. I love you guys. I'm really sorry that it wasn't your best night for me.
The homicidal Hello Kitty.
Sleazia Sparks is on Ring of Honor, so check her out. Ashley Six was on Ring of Honor. Keep watching for him. As well as the next Superkick'd event is going to be March 21st. So check it out. We'll be there. Check out our podcast to follow.
All right, so for Brad, Brody, Joel, Jeff, Angela, Mike, not our Mike, but a different Mike, Jason and Julia, I'm Keith McNally, KeithCourage.com. Thank you for listening.
Good night.
Bye.
Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you
All right, so to get back to the serious wrestling talk, Jeff, how'd you feel about how in the very first match a man had an exposed ass for most of it?
I really liked it. I was
Nice ass.
I was pissed off when it was pulled up. That was ridiculous.
He left it down for a long time,
Actually,
though.
the crowd booed. Like they did. They legitimately booed. They were like, "That was really good. That was really nice. He was a really nice bum. He like shaved it. He did everything for it. Like it's like, if you're gonna work that hard on your ass, looking good in front of an audience, keep it out there."
Yeah, as far as like first match had a naked ass, last match had Madonna dance party. What could be better?
That's the best shit. That's the best shit that's what I paid for. I paid for fucking ass. Unshaven ass.